Good evening and welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Tamiru Nimsat. Let's have a look at the headlines. Headline inflation in December remains in a single digit. Central Bank says. Trincomalee Oil Tank Development Project receives green light. News in detail. The headline inflation measured by the year-on-year change in the Colombo Consumer Price Index has increased to 4% in December 2023 from 3.4% in November 2023, according to the central bank.
The central bank mentioned that this increase aligns with its projections outlined in November 2023. Notably, after 5 consecutive months of deflation, the food category recorded a year-on-year inflation of 0.3% in December 2023, reversing the 3.6% deflation recorded in November 2023. On the other hand, non-food inflation year-on-year declined to 5.8% in December 2023 from 6.8% in November 2023. The Colombo Consumer Price Index recorded 0.89% in December, driven by a 1.16% price increase in the food category and a 0.27% price decrease in the non-food category. Core inflation, which reflects the underlying inflation in the economy, decreased to 0.6% in December 2023 from 0.8% in November 2023. The central bank stated that inflation is expected to stabilize around the targeted level of 5% over the medium term, supported by appropriate policy measures and inflation expectations. However, it cautioned about a potential temporary uptake in inflation in the near term, mainly due to the proposed value-added tax increase and its possible second-round impact.
The Cabinet of Ministers has given the green light to the procurement process for the first phase of the proposed development plan in the upper tank area of China Harbour, Trincomalee. The Cabinet co-spokesperson and Minister Bandula Gunawardena said this, speaking at the post-cabinet meeting press conference on Tuesday.
The Cabinet had previously approved the leasing of 61 out of the total 99 fuel container tanks in the upper tank area of the Trincomalee Terminal Limited for a period of 50 years. The commencement of the project kicks off with a comprehensive feasibility study aimed at developing the 61 oil tanks. The feasibility report recommends the first phase of the project to focus on renovating 9 tanks, laying a pipeline nearly 1.75 kilometers long, and constructing essential supporting facilities. The proposed business model for this ambitious project is based on the build, operate and transfer framework, emphasizing sustainable and efficient development. The initiative, spearheaded by the Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara, garnered approval from the Cabinet of Ministers at its meeting on Monday.
The Cabinet Subcommittee appointed to resolve cricket-related matters presented its report to President Ranil Wickremesinghe on Tuesday. The Cabinet Subcommittee, formed on the 6th of November, is chaired by Minister of Foreign Affairs Ali Sabri.
The committee includes Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara, Minister of Public Security Tira Nallas and Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment Manusha Nanayakara. The report addresses the composition and structure of Sri Lanka cricket, reform proposals, good governance practices and revamping the structure of Sri Lanka cricket. The committee had engaged with key stakeholders including the current sports minister, former sports ministers and representatives from various cricket-related bodies. Attorneys at law Shamir Zahaveer and Zaman Munzir made significant contributions to the report, and the Parliamentary Affairs Division of the Presidential Secretariat provided crucial support. President Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed his commitment to implementing the recommendations. He also mentioned his intentions to present both the report and the draft of the new Sports Act to Parliament in the near future. The President commended the Cabinet Subcommittee for the swift presentation of the report, emphasizing the importance of resolving cricket-related issues promptly.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The government has granted crucial exemptions and incentives for 2 major projects valued at $100 million each, signaling a commitment to bolster businesses of strategic importance in the region. The Cabinet co-spokesperson and Minister Bandula Gunawardena said this at the post-cabinet media briefing on Tuesday.
The approved projects include the Asiri Port City Hospital and the TIQRI Information Technology Venture. Asiri Port City Hospital is recognized as a primary business of strategic importance, while the TIQRI business is declared of strategic significance as a secondary business in the Colombo Port City. The approval paves the way for the next steps in the project progression, the issuance of gazette notification followed by the tabling of the said order in Parliament. The Minister highlighted the financial commitment and strategic significance attached to advancing infrastructure in the Colombo Port City. Minister Gunawardena noted that these investments will not only positively impact the local economy but also contribute to enhancing the healthcare and its landscape in the region. The proposals presented by President Ranil Wickremesinghe in his capacity as the Investment Promotion Minister received approval from the Cabinet of Ministers at its meeting on Monday.
Cabinet co-spokesman and Minister Bandulu Gunawardena confirmed that Thailand's Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin is set to formally sign the free trade agreement during his scheduled visit to Sri Lanka in February. He confirmed this at the post-cabinet meeting media briefing on Tuesday.
Minister Gunawardena stated that it's a promising step towards boosting international trade relations. The decision to sign the FTA was announced in September 2023 after the successful conclusion of the sixth round of negotiations held in Bangkok. In a separate development, the Cabinet of Ministers in its meeting on Monday approved proceeding with the proposed Sri Lanka-Thailand FTA. This follows the successful conclusion of the ninth round of negotiations that took place in Sri Lanka from December 18th to 20th. Negotiations for the FTA resumed in November after being on hold for 4 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic and ongoing restructuring of Sri Lanka's state-owned enterprises. During the first 10 months of 2023, the bilateral trade value between Thailand and Sri Lanka amounted to over $320 million. Thailand exported goods worth over $230 million while importing goods worth over $106 million from Sri Lanka.
In response to the emergence of the new COVID variant JN1 reported from India, Health Minister Dr. Ramesh Patirana assured that the Ministry of Health is closely monitoring the situation. Minister Dr. Ramesh Patirana also announced the commencement of a measles immunization program scheduled to start next week. He made this announcement during a press conference at the Presidential Media Center earlier this week.
The program aims to control the resurgence of measles across the country and will be administered through the Medical Officer of Health Officers nationwide. Minister Dr. Ramesh Patirana highlighted ongoing efforts to provide quality medicine to the public, addressing previous shortages caused by the economic downturn after the COVID crisis. The government has expedited the procurement process to obtain essential medicines, and digitization efforts are underway to enhance transparency in the procurement of medicines for hospitals. He noted the allocation of funds in this year's budget to improve the quality of control laboratory of the National Medicines Regulatory Authority. Starting from the second week of January, agreements have been made to provide the measles immunization vaccine through all medical officers of health officers nationwide.
Stay tuned for the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on mixed notes today.
The All Share Price Index gained 25.11 points to close at 10,740.03, and the S&P SL20 dropped 6.32 points to close at 3,086.91. The turnover was 0.6 billion rupees and over 43 million shares were traded.
Up next are Forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.